Hey guys, how's it going? This is Tom Burkhardt from Car Revs Daily in the 2015 Lexus IS250 rear drive. We're on like a sandy clay surface right now. Wanted to do a little car slaloming. That's of course one of the big advantages of the IS250 versus the cheaper CT200H, or of course, you know, any kind of mid-sized car from all the manufacturers. So this rear drive fun is sort of part of the reason that you would want such a great sports sedan with rear drive handling. It's you know, the drifting takes with the 2.5, excuse me, with in the IS250 guys, which actually runs a 3-liter V6 making 255 horsepower. You do need a little bit of help in sort of surface slickness in terms of getting the tail out and making it drift, whereas the IS350 with 306 horsepower, 51 more than this 250 is, you know, is a little bit happier to drift in dry weather. But as you can see from this little sprint, this car moves. It moves. It's exceptionally fun to drive, fantastically balanced, and just gets the fundamentals of its sports sedan proposition so right that any little niggles sort of fall by the wayside, and you really begin to see the point of justifying like a $5,000 to $8,000 additional tally versus like a loaded Camry or something like that. Okay, so IS250 for 2015 is available in rear drive and all-wheel drive with sticker prices from $36,500. This particular car has some really cool options, like it has the luxury pack, which includes a variety of goodies, but most notably LED headlights. That's for low and high beams that the base car lacks. We also have standard LED fogs and of course the Lexus Arrowhead LED DRL. So the lighting is fantastic. It looks really cool front and rear. I really enjoy it. And let's go back to that sandy area. But you know, you'd be worried about power, right? And you know, I wouldn't blame you. You'd think, you know, for this entry IS, it's got to have some big compromises versus the IS250, and obviously some compromises because for 2016 the IS250 is being replaced by the IS200T with a turbo engine. But sitting in the car today and on, you know, driving back from Atlanta to Charleston, South Carolina, I really can't see anyone getting in this car and being dissatisfied with the power in particular. I think it could be quicker in certain scenarios, like, you know, like that one for one, where the 6-speed automatic transmission, even in its sport mode, is just needs a little bit more gear spread, and would really benefit from perhaps maybe even an extra gear or so. I'm not sure if that's feasible, but that's the sort of the only sense you get in terms of wanting it to have just a little extra shove. So this 255 horsepower engine is actually going to have 20 more horsepower than the turbo that from the NX200T that's coming over for 2016 to the IS200T. That turbo is a 2-liter and only makes 235 horsepower. Performance will be very similar, which is like 7.6 to 7.8 seconds to 60 miles an hour. But you know, and fuel economy, of course, in ideal low throttle driving scenarios, the IS250 will be more efficient than this V6. But for a lot of drivers, having more displacement actually makes can make the engine have to work less hard, so you end up having, you know, very good fuel economy. Even driven like, you know, like the lines in the sand you see ahead of us, even driven like this, the IS250 has comfortably exceeded an overall average of like I think we've been doing 27.5, which is really good considering the way I've been driving, and really good versus any kind of big sports sedan with a 6 and rear drive. I mean, I was in a Hyundai Genesis last week that was all-wheel drive, but granted, you know, in my hands it was getting like 12 to 13 miles an hour, or excuse me, miles per gallon, which is low, which is I think a little bit lower than they would have expected when they were doing their scenarios. But the other part of it's really fun and balanced. It's great. The tricks to turning off traction control and stability control for this particular Lexus IS is to have it in park. You have a track off button right here, and you have it in park, and from there you can you hold it down, and then the additional stability control disabled light comes on. So just FYI on that one. But I love the car. I love the way the IS looks. It's really, really, you know, really seductive, sexy proportions. Love the angles in the profile, the way the body sill chops up into the lower trunk. And from the rear, the whole car just sort of forms this like triangular block of, you know, looks really tough and cool and mean. So, you know, it's shocking to know that this IS is, you know, the base Lexus. As equipped, this particular Lexus IS250 rear drive with the luxury package, navigation, and one other package comes in at $44,500, which is overall, which is good, which is really good. I think the thing that I would skip, surprisingly, is the navigation, and perhaps try to get those LED lights through some kind of other package. But otherwise, the cabin, I mean, look at this cabin. It's this beautiful dark brown leather. Fantastic, flawless, perfect driving position, shift paddles, really an overall terrific vehicle. In terms of technology and amenities, like active safety or active cruise, this car does not have them, but you really don't miss them. But we do have the one auto function we have that I've been using all the time is the auto wiper sensitivity. It's not like a full automatic wiper system as far as I can tell, but it does have in its intermittent setting, it has an auto function from there that can tell how much it needs to be on and what the delay should be, which is handy, which is nice. I mean, it's just a good setup overall. And I've even gotten pretty familiar with using the touch controls here. We have like a scroller pad, so from their menu, and you tap it along and it adjusts different things. But you also have repeat controls for the climate, selecting the inputs of the audio system, and then repeat separate controls for the cooled and heated seats. So pretty good overall. Loving the car. Was an instant pick for like a 2-3 hour road trip I had to take. So very, very impressed. I think that its balance is what'll stick with you as an overall sports sedan and value proposition. There's just great balance in this offering, and to be able to take home a car with handling that is going to be endlessly entertaining for just above 40K is a fantastic achievement for the IS250. I would say though that a lot of these the great praise about the steering, you know, the overall handling, drive position, feedback, and that stuff is all very top-notch. I mean, at BMW quality or beyond. The one issue that we should mention. Oh god, I just missed my train of thought. I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say about the BMW, about the comparison to the 3 Series. Oh yeah. Well, basically, so the IS, you know, comes in very, very well equipped versus the 3 Series these days you can get from like 33 grand, but it just has a teeny 2-liter as the 320, and it needs a ton of options to come in where this Lexus already is. So the I remember what I was going to say. So the seats actually are fantastic. These are really sports seats that hug really low and have a great headrest level of comfort and active anti-whiplash safety, all that stuff. But it's just like a really cool and great driving position. The wood, there's like some wood inlays here that are unusual considering how, like, I mean, I think it should be like a little bit more of a techie finish. Like this nickel here would probably better match my taste. But overall, like with this like gorgeous black obsidian exterior and a caramel interior, I don't know if those are the official colors, but it really gives sort of like, it feels like a Ferrari Daytona, and the seats sort of have a similar Daytona level inner design, I guess, for the bolsters. It's, you know, it's subtle, but the color combination of black and gold and black and tan definitely work for this vehicle. But one gripe is that the heated and cooled seats. The cooled seats I have on max all the time, and it's hard to really tell that they're on. You know, you can sense it like every once in a while, but they're not as forceful as some of the other cooled seats in the segment. So that's just like a little detail thing. And then the other thing is that these headrests, or excuse me, these mirror visors, like, feel so cheap. It's crazy how cheap these things feel, and they don't extend. You know, usually they like will have some kind of flap or the whole thing will extend, but that's not an option here. So you just, which is really, really embarrassing because, you know, almost every car from any price has that functionality. So it's embarrassing that the IS250 does not. But obviously, you know, little things, minor gripes. Love the steering wheel, love the drive position, love the engine note. I think that the V6 torque is fun, but will definitely benefit from the extra shove in the turbo powertrain. And but at the end of the day, I mean, this is a sports sedan to love. A long-term love affair with this Lexus IS is in your future. You should go give it a drive. It has so many merits that's on its own. That just being a little bit less powerful than the IS350 is just think of it as added fuel efficiency around town. Just think of yourself as saving, you know, $5 grand up front, and then, you know, $50 a week for the rest of your life. I don't know. If that equation sways you in favor of the 250 versus the 350, go for it. The car is fantastic. You're gonna love it. See you later.